Hello and welcome once again. Hello and welcome once again. Hello and welcome once again to Crazy Comics and Stories. It's me, your charming and delightful old Uncle Rat Bastard. It is Festivus, and normally we have a whole bunch of people with us, but some of the people that were invited are punks and bitches and losers and Poindexters and dweebs.
Yeah.
So it's just the cool people.
Exactly.
At the other end of the series of tubes and wires we call the internet is Dangerous Dan Mohr. How you doing today, Dan?
Oh, I've got so many things to talk about. Well, I've got some things to talk about. Wolfie has a lot to talk about.
Well, before we get started, we must give the story of Festivus.
Right. Yes.
It's a pre-recorded bit I stole from Seinfeld.
I know you did, but can I do part of it on my own?
Sure.
So, if you are new here, welcome newcomers. The tradition of Festivus begins with the airing of grievances, and I got a lot of problems with you people. And now you're going to hear about it.
And now here's where Festivus is from.
Many Christmases ago, I went to buy a doll for my son. I reached for the last one they had, but so did another man. As I rained blows upon him, I realized there had to be another way.
What happened to the doll?
It was destroyed. But out of that, a new holiday was born. A Festivus for the rest of them. The tradition of Festivus begins with the airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
So, Dan.
Yes. No,
we're recording late.
Yes, we are.
Because it was supposed to be myself, you, Stephanie, and Joe.
Yeah.
And Joe punked out on us because his daughter came back from Reno. It's not like he hasn't had 28 years to deal with her.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, how long has he known you?
30. He's known me longer than he's known her.
Well, then you should take precedence.
I agree. Not happy with it. He changes his schedule to a day that I already work. So that we have to do all these stupid contrivances to try and put the show together, with him recording his part of previews separately, and then I have to record mine, and then I got to mesh them together, and then I change my schedule, and you know what I hear?
What?
I can't record tonight. Stephanie, who was going to be recording this on Zoom because she hates Skype for some reason. I don't know why. I personally don't see a difference between them except to record on Zoom. You have to buy the professional version, which is $150.
It's the spelling.
Oh.
The Z makes it sexy.
Zexy?
Yeah.
I thought to make it Xy, you put extra X's in it, like SEXXY.
Well, yes, but the thing is, see, that didn't work into the joke.
Ah.
Yeah. I'd really appreciate it if you don't bring facts into my humor.
That's my job. I'm the buzzkill. So instead, Dan and I will be talking about them.
Yeah.
But today is Festivus. We do a special episode every year for the airing of the grievances. You got an episode on Wednesday, and you're getting another one on Friday. How lucky are you, listeners? Wait.
In the spirit of Festivus, are they going to actually complain that they got two because they weren't prepared and it's just too much awesome in 1 week?
Oh, they better be prepared because I've been talking about it for a month. And on the wrestling show I do over at PWInsiderElite.com, we did grievances there too.
Wow.
None of them will be repeated, by the way.
So you're saying you're not grievanced out?
Oh, no. One of our listeners, Mosique Chong, a couple of years ago gave me a book to fill out called The Airing of Grievances. And I don't even have it a quarter full yet.
Nice.
Every year, I write down things that have annoyed me through the year, ways that the world has disappointed me, ways that people and companies and comics and everything else have let me down. Dan, would you like to start?
All right, I can if you'd like.
Sure.
I'm trying to think of what level of grievance I want to put out right away, if I want to build or if I want to hit a high note. And we'll go. Okay.
I tend to go chronologically.
That requires a lot of memory on my part. Yeah, no, I'm not going to go chronologically because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Anyway, I'll write them down next year. I'll have them in. Yeah. So, Cory,
I do.
I'm going to make
Cut
this.
jerk.
You are, and I'll explain why. You keep bringing facts into my jokes. I don't care if it's your fucking job. This is a problem because my jokes have no facts behind them. I'm kind of like the Trump administration. Come on, bring facts in. Do it.
Well, I can't.
Okay, good. And that pisses me off, buddy. You gotta go with the flow, especially when it's the yes and with the improv. You can't keep bringing facts in that completely screw up what I'm doing because, of course, I don't know what I'm talking about when I talk about it. So you gotta stop and just listen and laugh. I don't care if you think it's funny or not. Your job is also to laugh.
Oh, there you go. There's the crickets. They liked
At least
it.
they're doing their job.
Yes.
Yeah.
On my list, I have wrong numbers. Do you know why I have wrong numbers on there, Dan?
Why do you have wrong numbers on there?
Well, part of my job is answering phone calls. People will call to ask about their benefits. And it's always been a problem, but this year it has gotten worse, where people will call and I will say, oh, you're asking about thus and such. You need to talk to this other company. Mm-hmm. You've called the wrong number. And they get mad at me about it.
Well, yeah, you should be who they're trying to call.
This was written back months ago. Today, somebody called and talked to me 3 times. And I kept transferring them. And then on the second time I said, were they able to give you the answer? Yes, but I have more questions.
Okay.
So I transferred them again. The third time, I said, I'm going to give you this number to write down and transfer you over. But when she got me and asked the question, and I said, I'm sorry, your stuff is taken care of at this other number, she got mad at me for not being at the other number. You know, I've called you people 3 times, and each time you transfer me to this other number. Wouldn't you think by the second time, you'd go, they're transferring me to another number and giving me that number when they do that. Maybe I should just call that other number directly. By the third time, it is no longer my fault, my problem. No. You are annoying yourself, and you need to own that. You need to just sit there in your wrongness and be wrong.
Well, what number were they calling?
They were calling for over 65 benefits. We are under 65 benefits. Now, she didn't magically de-age 7 years.
Maybe that's what she was calling for.
To learn how to de-age?
Yeah.
That's another number.
Somewhere in Peru, right?
No, maybe you got to drink a lot of that ayahuasca shit and you think you're younger.
Cocaine. Got it. Okay.
No, cocaine just makes you paranoid and impotent and paranoid. Which I've never understood why anybody would pay money for that.
I don't know why people would pay money for a lot of things.
So, Dan, what's next on your list?
Well, actually, I'll give it over to Wolfie so he can do this particular one. So,
All right, let me set the stage for you, okay? You guys, I was with you when Joe couldn't make it before, and we talked about the extra life that we were doing for 24-hour gaming, and we had to get donations from people and things like that. So I was ahead in donations, and then someone gave a donation to Jules instead of me, and it was enough to get ahead of me. And I'll tell you, when I get a hold of that writer, I'm gonna beat the crap out of him. And you know what's worse? It doesn't stop there. You see, Dan, we won't go into big detail, but the thing is, it's an open relationship with the stuff. So Daniel has actually another girlfriend who also donated to Jules instead of me. And Jules just yelled out, and she's cute. So, you know, she's trying to steal my girlfriend. And she got the donation from the girlfriend. Or not my girlfriend, his girlfriend. Well, I mean, anyway. I could have won, but no. The people that I supposedly actually may have friends go and give donations to somebody else. And I came in last.
Maybe that should be teaching you something, Wolfie.
More blowjobs?
Keep your hands to yourself?
No, something else taught me that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Cory?
This will be a theme. Entertainment. Okay, Netflix.
Mhm.
We all have Netflix or know somebody who has Netflix and we use their password.
Yeah.
They have all of these series that they start, and many of them end on cliffhangers.
yeah.
And then they cancel them.
Yeah.
And all I could think is, if a series that Netflix has goes 1, 2, 3, in some cases 4 seasons, and ends on a cliffhanger, no one is going to watch that series, so it's kind of a waste of time. Why don't they do what they used to pay networks to do? Because years ago, Sci-Fi canceled Warehouse 13 and Eureka. And Netflix said, hey, those are really popular. Can you just do a 6-episode final season that wraps everything up?
Yeah.
And Sci-Fi said, sure. We can make them on the cheap, and then you can run them if you want to share the cost. And Netflix went, great. That way these series, these people will have closure. And since then, I can't tell you how many goddamn Netflix series have ended without me getting any closure at all.
Well, see, the thing is, they're targeting you, Cory.
I realize that. They're out to get me.
And what was great is they did that build-up, doing it beforehand for other people, just so you got your hopes up.
Yeah, but now whenever there's a Netflix series, it's become the way I treat fantasy novels. 1, is it already over? It's not, okay, I'm going to wait. 2, did they end it, or did it just get canceled mid-story? I'm looking at you, George R.R. Martin. I you know what's going to happen with the Game of Thrones books? He's going to die, and Brandon Sanderson's going to have to write the last 5.
Yeah, probably.
Because he says it'll be 2. Well, when Brandon Sanderson comes in to finish the series, well, it was supposed to be 1, but I guess it's 3. Because, boy, I like making money. That's why I like mystery and crime series. Because, yes, the main character continues, but each one ends.
All right.
The Fletch books, each one had an ending. The Travis McGee books, each one had an ending. The Spencer novels, each one had an ending. The Miss Marple books, each one bored the shit out of me when I fell asleep. They had an ending. Netflix needs to get their shit together. Dan?
All right. Well, I'll go on that and continue on a grievance of Netflix on my own, as well. They recently produced and released the first season of Sandman, and
It made everybody wait months before they renewed it.
there's that, yes, which is also a grievance, but yeah, we can fold that into it. That was annoying as hell. Because it's like, wait, what? Who? Huh? No.
It was the only reason to follow Colleen Duran's Twitter, because she would go on and go, I see they have not renewed Sandman yet. I'm going back into hibernation.
But the thing that I have a huge grievance about is Luke. Whoa, sorry, my wife blew up.
Is she a Warner Brothers character?
Apparently, jeez. What I have a huge problem. The grievance with the whole Sandman series is fucking Lucifer's hair.
Yes, I have heard that from you.
Oh my good God! What the hell did they do? It looks absolutely awful on screen and on that particular actress, who is great, and I can never remember her name. But it's horrible. It's absolutely visually pulls me out of the story. But the worst thing about it is it's exactly the way it looks like in the comics. So it's amazingly accurate. But
and
looks
still pisses you off.
Oh, just awful. I mean, they had to change other things, which I had no problem with. Did no one look at that and go, ooh, maybe not?
Okay, now this one shows that I can be a bad boy at times. I am not always Mr. Goody Two Shoes. Here in Minnesota,
Mm-hmm.
they have allowed THC derived from hemp, which I have to be honest, weren't we all told by all those stoner people who were like, dude, hemp doesn't have any THC in it. Well, we were told that, and now we find out, no, there is hemp. There is THC in hemp, and we have it in gummy form for you. And it was snuck into a bill, and then after it was voted for, most of the people who voted for it were like, oh my gosh, how did this happen? We voted for it. You don't expect me to read that, do you? So all these cities in Minnesota are now, you've got all the hemp stores and the CBD stores and the tobacco vape shops and everything. They're going, oh my gosh, we need to put rules in place for you people so that you can't do this when it's already legal. Mm-hmm. So once again, it's another case of shutting the barn door after all the horses have escaped.
Yeah.
Now here in Minnesota, I don't know if you've gone to purchase such intoxicants, Dan.
I have not.
You just go into the store and you pick up the item and you give the fine shopkeeper your money and you go on your way.
Okay.
Now in Illinois, I went down to visit. They have old-fashioned THC, which means it comes from the jazz cigarettes, the devil's weed, marijuana. And while I was down there, I decided I would stop at the local dispensary to pick up some mints.
Okay.
Because I'm not going to be smoking anything with my asthma. So I went in to buy some mints. Now, remember how I told you how you buy the mints in Minnesota?
Yeah.
In Illinois, you go in and the door shuts behind you and you're in a little alcove, and they will not let you leave that alcove until the outside door has shut.
Mm-hmm.
Then they push a button and you hear, and the inside door opens, and you can go through the metal detector where there is a police officer and an employee.
Oh, jeez.
So you have to take things out of your pocket, and they run the wand over you, which, I have to be honest, was the most physical I've dealt with in years. They run the wand over you, and then you go to a window where you must show your ID to prove that you are 21. And you are the only one who can be at the window. So if you brought someone with you, they need to stand back 6 feet, not because of COVID. Oh, heavens no, this is rural Illinois. They want you getting the COVID. Nope, you show them your ID, and then you go to another door, and they open the door, and only you can go in. And the person who was behind me had to stay 6 feet behind me and had to wait until the door shut so that they could open the door again to let him in. Now, there are no items out where you can look at them.
Right.
You go up to the fine gentleman at the dispensary counter. There were no women there. It was only young guys. Central Illinois, pasty pale white guys, half of whom had dreadlocks and should not have had them. And you tell them what you would like.
Mm-hmm.
And they bring out a catalog, and you decide what you're buying. Now, if you want to buy paraphernalia for marijuana, such as a bong or a one-hitter or any of those other things, they're laid out very wonderfully under a glass cabinet as if they are expensive jewelry. Because, Lord knows, after you've gone through 2 locked doors and there's a police officer, you're probably going to want to grab that one hitter and make a break for it. And you point to what you want, and they go, all right, and they go into the back where they push a button, and it announces that they go in, and the door shuts, and they're there for 5 minutes laughing at you for being such a moron for what you purchased. Dude. This old guy's out there and he wants mints. Doesn't know how to fucking smoke pot. Then they come out again and they hand it to you, and you pay for it only with cash.
Right.
Because marijuana is still legal on the federal level, so the credit card companies and the debit companies and they won't. And there was one person there who wanted to write a check, and everybody looked at him and was like, they still make checks? No, it is cash only. So you pay your cash, and they put it in a bag that says right on it, the dispensary.
Right.
As kind of a warning to let people know that you're a degenerate drug user. Then when you go to the exit, it's a different door than the one you came in. And you go in, and the door shuts, and you have to wait until they look at you through the camera to make sure that you're the only person in the alcove before they let you out, and the sun blinds you because you've been in the dark all this time. And then you go to your car, and you take the mints, and you hide them under your car seat because you don't know if they're legal outside of Illinois, and you're paranoid because you've been on camera, and there have been cops around, and there's a cop car in the parking lot.
Right. And you'd be taking controlled substances across state lines.
And it's legal there. and everyone I've said, I bought these and everything. No one talks about getting high anymore because I'm over 50. No. People over 50, we don't use marijuana to get high. No, it's to help you go to sleep. Dan, how long have you known me?
I was talking about that the other day. I think 22 years.
I can sleep anywhere, can't I? I get paid to sleep anywhere.
Yes.
I don't need the THC to to fall asleep. I need it so that I can quit working for a half hour.
Yes.
So please, Minnesota, if you do legalize pot itself, do not make you feel like that you're going into Fort Knox to steal state secrets. Dan?
Well, I have a question, however, or a concern about your previous grievance. And not what you did, but with the gummy bears. When I think hemp, I think of the rope.
Yes.
Right. So all I think of when I think of the gummy bears made of hemp is a gummy bear with this like rope, the rope thing sticking out of it. Like I would be afraid to eat it because I might get a splinter.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Okay. Just making sure. So oh crap, I had one then when we were talking about this stuff. Oh, Illinois. Fine. I'll have a grievance about Illinois. One of the things that when I do conventions, if I can get anywhere near a Krispy Kreme, I am so happy. And it's one of the reasons I'm willing to go to Des Moines, because there's a Krispy Kreme there.
And it's near where Captain Kirk will be born.
Yeah, whatever. Well, sorry, I don't know why I find that so funny. So I went to Worldcon this year, and it was downtown Chicago, and there were Krispy Kremes supposedly throughout the main city, and there was one even within walking distance of the hotel we were at. I was excited. This is awesome. I'm gonna get Krispy Kremes while at Worldcon, and then we go to the Krispy Kreme, and it's only really got the normal ones. I mean just the glazed, nothing extra. Yeah, and almost none of them. We were lucky that we even got a box of those. Now, we went late. I admit we went late in that day, but then I looked up to go and see if I could get them delivered the next day through like DoorDash and stuff. And no, that's basically all they did.
Yes.
Yeah. What the fuck, Chicago?
Now, do you remember when Krispy Kreme was here?
Yes.
Now, when they first opened, I remember it was after Joe had sold the shop. I think Christy owned it because I was there late on a Friday, and they were opening on a Friday over on White Bear Avenue.
Okay.
Way down toward where the fast food is and the Super America and all that.
Oh, sure.
And
yeah.
I said, oh, I get done here around 9 o'clock. I go to the gym. I get done there around 10. I'll drop by and I'll get some of these donuts to go home. And I look and I see a line of cars. And that line of cars goes around the Krispy Kreme, up their driveway, up the road next to it, around the road around it, back down the exit to the freeway. And there's a line on the freeway of cars.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I would have driven past those cars and said, by the way, in 3 years, they'll all be gone because not enough people are buying them, they would have laughed at me, but nope. 3 years later, they're all gone.
I'm well aware. You don't understand. I'm well aware. Krispy Kreme. Oh, this is going to be a grievance for later too. And Krispy Kremes are like my cocaine. Okay. I absolutely love them.
And now
they went away.
And now you know how I feel about Tim Hortons.
Yes, and I cannot understand it.
Except with Tim Hortons, they were doing okay. The owner of all the ones in Minnesota decided he didn't want to pay the franchise fee. He said it was too expensive, and he was going to fight him in court. And Krispy Kreme said, "Oh, okay, we'll see you in court, but until we do, and you haven't paid your fee, we're shutting you down, all of them."
Okay, but Cory, the difference between the Krispy Kreme story and the Tim Hortons story is that the Krispy Kremes are good.
Get out.
Oh, that's fight words.
Did you hear that?
Yes. Krispy Kreme had one kind of donut, and once you've had it, that's all there is to it. Tim Hortons had hundreds of donuts, and they
Yes,
were
I know,
all
but if you
awesome.
have one good donut and hundreds of crappy donuts, one donut still wins. Look, I went there for you, and I regretted it.
You regretted that it was at the Mall of America.
That's not true. The Krispy Kremes that I went to was at the Mall of America when it was open. Lived too close to the Mall of America once. The mall is just my mall. That's all it was.
So DC Comics is constantly trying to piss me off.
Dude, they've been doing that to you for years.
Do you know the character the Phantom Stranger?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you heard of these things called omnibuses?
No, you've never brought those up before.
They're going to put out, matter of fact, in next month's previews, there will be the Phantom Stranger omnibus.
But
the Phantom Stranger omnibus was supposed to come out this month, and we ordered it earlier this year. And then we ordered it last year. And then we ordered it 2 years ago. And then we ordered it 3 years ago. This is the fifth time they're resoliciting the same book.
did you pay for it each time?
Well, you pay for it, and then when they cancel it, you get a refund, and then you order it again. And so I paid for this 3 years ago, and I may be getting it in October of 2023. Now, here's the cool thing. The price has also bounced all over the place, because when I first ordered it, it was $100. Then it went to $125. Last time, it was $150. In next month's previews, it'll be $125 again. Have they changed the contents? Absolutely not.
No, of course not.
We won't even talk about how Tom King's Batman run. Okay, they're putting out hardcovers. Volume 1, 2, 3, 4, Volume 5, paperback only.
Yeah.
Oh, and the conclusion, Batman Catwoman, yeah, completely different trade dress.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. I haven't seen that one yet, but I actually have the Batman run. And the problem I had with it is, of course, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, then a Flash comic, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, and then another Flash.
Oh, you're buying it as trade paperbacks. I was buying it as hardcovers, which were twice as thick.
Were they?
Yeah.
Oh, they had twice the amount.
Yeah, they were deluxe.
Oh, yeah. No, I hadn't done it when they came out. I had to go back and buy them.
Okay.
So trying to find all of the run. I'm like, well, where are these issues? I look it up. It's like, okay. So I try to look that up. Oh, I can't find that story anywhere. Finally, by accident, I found out it was in the Hero. What was it? The crossover with Sanctuary Heroes something. Where there's the Sanctuary that they send all the heroes to try to deal with their problems.
Heroes in Crisis.
Yeah, thank you. Heroes in Crisis. You have to buy that trade paperback to get 2 issues that have nothing to do with that particular thing. To get the Flash overlap for a couple of the Batman stories. But it doesn't make any sense whatsoever, and I don't even remember how I found that out by accident, that it was in that trade paperback.
Thanks, DC.
Yeah. God damn.
Say what you want about Marvel. They collect every goddamn thing.
They do.
repeatedly and often.
That's because Marvel likes money.
Yes, they do. Somebody at Disney's got to be profitable, because Lord knows nothing else is. I don't even want to talk about the stock market because, oh, look, I bought Disney stock 3 years ago.
Oh, has it been dropping?
Oh, badly.
Oh. With the idea that Marvel is profitable, Marvel is a big thing, and Marvel is actually making money. I do find it very funny that DC looks at it and goes, "Well, we want to make sure we don't do what they do."
Well, and 25 years ago, after Sandman made, Neil Gaiman Uncle Scrooge vault that he could swim through, DC was like, oh, these trade paperbacks and hardcovers are a great way to make more money.
Yeah.
And then, what was it, 5-6 years ago, they went, yeah, we want people to buy the regular comics, so we're not going to be putting as much stuff in the collected editions. Did that raise the sale of the regular monthly comics at all? Absolutely not.
Yeah, I was going to say, it probably might have lost it.
People just actually went, eh. But I've already, last year's when I talked about how DC and Marvel fucked the direct market and left it laying there and asked for cab money.
Yeah.
Where's your purse? I need cab fare. Where's my Uber? Although I have a grievance against Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
They are putting out some wonderful, wonderful books.
Yeah.
What was it? The August 1961, July 1962. I think they're putting out July 1963, where they reprint all of the comics from that month. It's like, okay, this is the month the Fantastic Four #1 came out. Here are all the other comics that we printed. And
wow.
The next one was the Spider-Man Amazing Fantasy 15. Here's all the other books we put out. The next one they're doing is from 63. So it's Avengers #1 and X-Men #1 and all the other comics they were putting out. And they a while ago, they quit making the Masterworks for the Golden Age and the Atlas comics. Okay, that's fine. But you could still add them to your digital because you have them, right? Right?
Uh-oh. No.
Oh, they're not adding any more of those because, well, we need to sell them as collected editions to offset the cost of digitizing them.
Offset the cost of digitizing them.
Now, there were a number of people who are, there was I forget what it was. There was one of those online petitions where they said, okay, you've printed the first half of the series Venus, which were, the first half were not good. But then after that, the art took a huge leap forward as you had early John Romita, Joe Maneely, early John Buscema. Hey, 2,000 people pledged that they would buy it, which is more than buy any other masterwork. And Marvel said, yeah, we're not going to do that. Okay, how about an omnibus? Selling 2,000 of an omnibus outsells most omnibuses. Nah, we're not going to do that. Why? Nobody buys the Golden and Atlas books. But you have 2,000 people here who said that they're going to pay money. And these are not people, this is in a dedicated group to the older. No. So the guy who runs this group said, well, if you're not going to do it, can I license these books? I could print them the way he did the book called Atlas at War, which reprinted a bunch of Marvel 50s war comics, which Marvel got a nice fee. This company did the digitizing. They didn't have to pay anything.
Yeah.
No. They're like Consuela on Family Guy. We'd like to give you this big pot full of money. No. He's not good. No. And then
I keep the books.
and then when they start showing up on scan sites and stuff, they're like, why in the world are people doing this? Well, we wanted to give you a big bucket of money, but you said no. Now, I'm not saying that I use those scan sites, but I do know they exist, and I do know the people who go to them, and they do have big collections of golden and silver age stuff. They just want more of the golden and silver age stuff that you don't want to sell them or put on your digital platform.
Mm-hmm.
Way to go, Marvel. Dan?
Well, let's see. We can program or people that I think are making mistakes. The CW.
Oh,
now,
they're going to be gone in a year or so.
Yeah, but my grievance is it because they're ending the DC stuff? Not really. I never really watched that anyway. But I can understand that's bad for a lot of people. Am I upset that that some of the DC stuff that was gonna come that I may have been interested in is not gonna happen? No, not really. They're fucking with two shows that are really important to me. And that's Whose Line Is It Anyway? And the reboot of Babylon 5. I had hopes. I was like, oh, more Babylon 5 stuff. And now it's in limbo again. Look, I'm okay, but don't tease me. Don't tease me. Now when it comes to Babylon 5, I have kept my inner serial killer at bay for many years. Nobody knows me out in California. They're not going to suspect this guy from Minnesota just suddenly appearing and killing off an entire production team.
Well, wouldn't it be a network?
That too.
Okay.
Yeah. I think big. It would be a lot. Anyway, anyone who caused a problem.
Shall I tell you the story of the CW?
I don't know if I can handle it.
All right. The CW, which used to be owned by it was kind of a mix. It was owned half by CBS and half by Warner Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know that Warner Brothers is completely screwed up.
Yes.
But they had a deal where the shows would run on the CW and then Netflix would buy them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how you could get shows like The Flash, like Arrow, like Legends of Tomorrow, that look like they cost more money than a show that would have been on the CW without it, which would be, okay, what can we get for a bunch of expired trading stamps?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Warner Brothers has completely shit the bed. They were bought by AT&T, and AT&T went, yeah, well, fired a bunch of people, and then Discovery bought it, and Discovery went, all these shows that have writers and actors, we don't need that. Look at Discovery. We don't pay anybody anything, and we get reality shows out of it.
Okay, that's the funny. Okay, that's more. Okay, go.
They then get sold to a company called Nexstar. Nexstar purchased 75% of the CW network earlier this year. CBS and Warner Brothers now own just 12.5%. They have a deal obligating them to carry CBS and Warner Brothers shows on the CW for this season. Then after next season, they can renew the deal at its option and carry them longer, but they do not have to. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, well, what is Nexstar? Nexstar is a media company out of Irving, Texas, that owns a shit ton of low-power stations, 197 of them. So remember when I said that the Warner Brothers was bought by Discovery, who said, yeah, these actors and screenwriters and stuff, why don't we just get reality stars instead?
Mm-hmm.
Nexstar has less money than that. Nexstar fills their time with infomercials.
Ah.
Matter of fact, they no longer have any Fox affiliates because back in 2011, they told Fox, yeah, you charge too much. We're going to run your shows and only pay you half of what you say we should. And Fox went, no, you're not. And those channels became my network, which is code for here's a bunch of syndicated shows that we could get for nothing.
Uh-huh.
So
that sort of explains the whose line is it anyway thing, because of course what I had read about the previous part of, well, they want to do just, real low budget stuff, and it's like how can you get more low budget when it comes to stuff?
Whose line costs nothing?
Yeah, it's like it's 5 chairs, some water, and a bunch of props that would probably cost them about $5 a piece, if that. And then I heard they got canceled, and I'm like, what? This is exactly the kind of show you said you wanted.
Well, it costs money to polish Colin's head.
Oh man.
Well, just be glad you don't have a show on TBS or TNT, because they were all canceled. All of them.
Really?
Even a show called Chad, which had its second season done, was a week away from being aired. And they went, nope. Because if they cancel it and don't air it, they can write it off as a tax loss.
Mm-hmm.
And Discovery needs to find $3 billion because they went that deep into debt buying Warner Brothers. Now, part of it was debt that Warner Brothers had from when AT&T bought them.
Mm-hmm.
And part of it was debt from the actual purchase of Warner Brothers by Discovery.
Okay.
But that's why you're seeing all these completed shows that are gone. The Batgirl movie, gone. The Scooby-Doo movie, gone. If you're watching HBO Plus and there's a show you like on it, you better watch it fast, because one of the things they're doing is, well, these shows that are kind of popular, we're going to see if we can sell them to Pluto TV and Tubi TV and all these other places to generate money. Because when they're on HBO Plus, yes, they're a good draw, but they don't make any money because people are paying for a subscription, whether they have them or not. Except they don't realize that if you get rid of enough things, people will go, I really don't need the subscription anymore.
Yeah.
But they're going to merge with Discovery Plus.
What, HBO Plus?
Yeah. HBO Max, 25 million subscribers. Discovery Plus, 6 million subscribers.
Okay, that's going to be a fun joining. Oh, I feel so bad for their data department.
I feel so bad for people who are like, hey, I subscribe to HBO Plus because HBO, man, they're the pinnacle. They have theatrical movies, they have prestige dramas, and now here's Dr. Pimple Popper and midgets trying to find wives.
Yes. Oh, Lord.
All we can think is right now, nobody's paying any attention to DC.
Apparently.
So, Dan.
Yeah.
What's next?
What is next? Well, if we continue with the comics or comic connections, I know I stated this in the one time that I was on this year, but of course there's the whole IDW losing the IP for Transformers.
Yes.
right when they restarted the universe, and it was doing pretty well. I thought they were doing a fairly decent job with it. And suddenly it's like, no, by the way, we're going to close everything up as fast as we can, and we're no longer going to have the IP. It's like, what? So now I have to decide, and I believe you said that Image is getting it.
Yes, so we'll be coming from the Skybound area, which is run by Robert Kirkman.
Okay. If Jim Lee gets a hold of any of that art, I'm going to quit immediately.
Jim Lee's at DC. He has nothing to do with Image.
Oh, he has nothing to do with Image anymore?
Never. It's been years.
I don't keep up with Jim Lee. I see his art and I avoid it.
You see his art on Batman and Superman.
Yes, and I have been avoiding his stuff.
He is one of the few vice presidents at DC who hasn't been fired.
And I don't know why.
Probably because they're scared if he goes to some other company, his art will make them tons and tons of money.
He uses so many lines in his art. I mean, Batman looks 80.
Well, true.
That or else he's, just eating an entire lemon.
Well, Batman is kind of a grumpy bastard.
Well, yeah, but everybody looks that way in the damn comic. How do you make Killer Croc look like he's squinting?
I don't know. I don't know enough about crocodiles. I just know the difference between an alligator and a crocodile.
Spelling.
With a crocodile, you'll see them after a while. An alligator, you'll see them later.
Those are the crickets, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Comic-wise, we are in a glut.
Oh.
Which means there are way too damn many comics coming out.
Yes.
And you may say to yourself, well, that's a good thing. It's a good thing, right? No, it's not, because we're hearing more and more of creators not getting paid.
Oh, no.
Now, IDW was running into that problem. However, remember, IDW is kind of this weird company that all small comic publishers are turning into, where they're part of a comic company, but also part of a media company.
Yes.
And if you've been reading previews, you see that IDW's previews is getting more and more sad as time goes on. Well, that is going to reverse itself because they sold 6 pilots this year.
Oh?
So money will be coming into IDW for the first time in ages.
Well, that's good.
Now, there are other small companies that are quietly reorganizing, which means that they are doing reorganizations and not telling anybody that they're, probably close to bankruptcy. I know that Oni is really hoping that Rick and Morty books sell really, really well over Christmas, because they've kind of half announced that they're not taking on new projects. But the big one is Aftershock.
Okay.
Aftershock has announced that they have gone into Chapter 11.
Oh, the company. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
They are a comic publishing company. They have announced that they are going into Chapter 11. They also were part of a reality show creating company, and most of their reality shows are no longer on the air anymore, so they're not generating any funds. But Aftershock, which does things like Bram Stoker's Monster Hunter, what are some of their big ones? Maniac of New York. Let's see.
Oh, I thought that was my roommate.
Bad Reception, Jimmy's Bastards, Betrothed. They've had a lot of creators such as Garth Ennis working for them. We found out that they owe $500,000 to the British distributor of their comics, $500,000 to the printer,
Oh.
Lots of creators have not gotten paid, including the creator of the TV show *Halt and Catch Fire*, who said he quit working on the 4-issue miniseries with issue 2 because he had not gotten paid for issues 1 and 2 yet. And he said, well, you'll get the scripts for 1 and 2 when I get the checks. I mean, you'll get the scripts for 3 and 4 when I get the checks for 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they declared Chapter 11, which is a reorganization. I think it's Chapter 9 or 7, where it's, we're done here.
7, I believe, yeah.
Yeah, but they're in being reorganized, and they owe between them and the TV production company $10 to $50 million.
Oh, is that all?
That's all. So they'll be fine.
They'll be fine. It's all fine.
If you work at Aftershock, rent don't buy. But there are a lot of little companies that for years I've been going, how are they making any money? Because, boy, they're publishing a lot of books, and they don't seem to be selling all that many. I always point out, for the past, I think, 3 years, Avatar Press,
Mm-hmm.
they haven't published a new book in 3 years. But they still have the 3 to 5 pages in previews where it's, hey, you want to get this, the former exclusive? Guess what? You can get it for, it's worth $100, but you can get it for $5. I think it was 2 years ago they sold off all their hardcovers. These are $50 books, $5 each. Believe it or not, we have a special guest. Special guest has arrived.
What's going on here?
Wait a minute.
We're having a podcast without you.
Wait a minute. This is the special guest?
Nothing new. Wolfie!
This special? Oh, don't Wolfie me.
Give me some fuzz, Buzzy.
No. Don't.
Come on,
No.
open wide. Let me see that
You never will hear this from me normally, but get the hell off me, bastard.
I'm sorry, man. I haven't seen you in so long. I gotta go Muppet on you.
You dare to give a donation to Daniel's wife and not me?
Yeah, sorry. She's got better MacGuffies.
That's fine, but I've actually been in your pants.
They're beyond fine.
Well,
that's
they
the
are.
point.
I understand.
You've been in my pants. I'm working on it.
That's fine. Oh,
She
is that
has-
what it is? It was a
she has
bribe.
more to offer. I know because Daniel's told me so.
What? You bastard!
Sorry, Dan. I had to throw it into the bus quick. All right. Well, that, folks, is how we get an explicit rating for 2023.
Oh, fuck, you're explicit.
Now, I want you to know something here. See, I genuinely thought you said 7:30 Californian time, which is why I'm late. Otherwise, I'd have been here 2 hours ago. But no, Cory just has problems. He just doesn't like Central Standard Time. And I have a real issue with that. Not as much as the fact that my watch band, after 10 years, and again, this is a Timex watch, so it's a kick-ass watch, but my watch band broke. And you want to know something? No retailer in town carries watch bands anymore. At least not nice ones that they don't, those flexi metal ones that like to rip your arm hair off for us hairy guys. So I got to tell you, I got a lot of issues with that. But that's not what I here to talk about. My daughter that came in town, which is why I wasn't sure if I'd join you guys. And I had a choice. It's like, oh, geez, podcast with Cory. Because when's the last time, not counting Black Friday, Cory, that we actually have done a podcast together?
October.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, we get to do this again. For all I know, Cory's moved on. I'm just been forgetted. He's off doing his solo Corys, or he's found somebody new to podcast with. He doesn't care about me. Nope. So this is we gotta feel each other out again. Kind of make sure we still got that same groove.
Each other out?
Yeah. And the choice
I'm
was,
down.
do I go see Dana, who I've seen Cory more than I've seen Dana this year? Granted, she's studying Reno. So she came to town, and I thought, well, we'll go to dinner or whatever. So I'm like, okay, we went out to dinner, and I don't know if you'll be able to hear this, but I'm gonna play it loud and see if you can.
All right, hey, I want to say hey to everybody. This is Crazy Joe Ryder, and of course, I unwillingly am submitting this for Cory's Festivus episode. I dislike Festivus. I don't like it. We only got 52 podcasts we do a year, and to waste one doing Festivus, I'm telling you, I got issues with you, Strode. But I'll be nice because we've been kind of a weird month. I haven't been able to record live with you, so I got to give you kudos for keeping the podcast going. That said, I do have my family here. They're much more important than doing a podcast Festivus episode with you. So one at a time, I'll have everybody introduce themselves, and they will play along and give you their grievance. We'll start with my long-suffering but much-loved wife.
Yeah, long-suffering, much-loved. Do we want to talk about how many God-blessed boxes show up to my house?
Let's get going. Time for Holly.
Do we want to talk about how much money is spent on comics every week?
Oh, hey.
I'm not going to talk about it, but it's my Festivus grievance.
My name's Holly, and my Festivus grievance is men as a whole. My name's Holly, and my Festivus grievance is ditto.
Whoa, two
Hey,
Hollies.
Holly.
You have two Hollies now?
Well, there were two there.
Oh,
And unfortunately, the phone died, and I didn't get a chance to get Zach, Dana's boyfriend, or Dana herself. Zach actually brought up a good one where he says, I get a lot of emails, and I always hate the, hey, how are you doing? Because I know you don't really care how I'm doing. And it wastes a whole 5-10 seconds out of my day. And when I have 100 emails to go through, that's a lot of waste. And Dana's, unfortunately, was a little explicit, and as Cory's want to do, it would probably be edited out. So,
why? It would get us sued?
well, no, we have other reasons to be sued, but
Oh, okay.
and I've got more grievances, but I don't want to hog the whole episode. What have we been bitching about so far?
I have a new grievance now.
I'm shocked, I tell you.
Joe says that we waste one of our 52 episodes on the Festivus episode. We
Yeah.
do not. Festivus is always a special extra bonus.
Which is a waste of an extra special bonus. But continue.
If we didn't do Festivus, we'd only have 52 episodes.
So this is a very special episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Where's
Gordon
the-
Jump has been feeling
the
me up
back?
in the back of his bike shop for hours.
Sure, I thought that was Wolfie.
What you talk about, Willis?
Ching ching.
Dan, do you have any other? We've been going for an hour without you.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I got a few more I could give you.
Well, I can give you some too, but do you want to text me Dana's grievance and I can have Wolfie say it?
I will. I've got to get it cleared through Homeland Security first.
Oh, okay. Well, Joe, why don't you give us one because you haven't been around for the episode.
Seriously, people, would you give James Gunn a fucking break? He hasn't done anything yet. Everybody's like, oh, he's fine, here we come. He doesn't like Black Adam. Oh, he's terrible. I never liked Guardians of the Galaxy anyways. Blah, blah, blah. And I don't know if it's just, we've talked about this in the past. The way people bitch about shit nowadays on the interwebs, had Star Trek Next Generation been around in the day of the interwebs, it never would have launched. Because people are, oh, I can't believe we're doing it without Kirk and McCoy and Spock. And we'd be like, nowadays, well, 2 out of the 3 are dead now. But just let him see what he's going to do. I mean, I personally have my own way. I would probably get rid of the so-called Snyderverse and get into the Gunverse, if we want to call it that. Show me your guns. But just everybody just bitching about stuff. It's just tiresome. And for guys like, and I'm sure Dan and Cory, we remember all the way back when, how can Batman be Mr. Mom? Now we're like, oh, you cut Michael Keaton's part out of the Flash movie? It's just tiresome. I know how I would deal with it all. I would have everybody back to be killed off by Darkseid, and then while he thinks he won, bring in the brand new Justice League. But that's just me, because I'm a continuity guy. I've seen Crisis. What was the weird one after Crisis? 0 Hour?
Well, there was Crisis, then there was Legends.
0 Hour. I'm sure I'm forgetting a few after that. And then New 52. Oh, Final Crisis before New 52.
Infinite Crisis.
Oh, good
Identity
day.
Crisis.
Countdown. War of the Worlds. Oh, a different one. Secret Wars 2. I mean, come on. We've suffered through a lot. So, to me, just people, calm your genitalia. Just take it easy. In a smaller group, there's a group I've enjoyed online called the Sandman, which is based, a woman, Amanda Pike, started the group long before there was a TV show. And it was just her little group on Facebook. And now it's exploded because it's a public group and people are real excited about the Sandman show. Well, now the trolls are involved, including people that want to buy the group from her, including people that are mad because I don't want to follow the rules. I want to block you. I don't want to do this. There's not a lot of Sandman content coming out. So they've been talking about Wednesday, the Addams Family Netflix show. Oh, is this a Wednesday group or is it a Sandman group? Well, there are tie-ins between the two. Actors have been on both shows. Writers are involved. Neil Gaiman's thrown at Adam Family references in Sandman. He likes Adam Family. It's so tiresome because she spends half her day stomping out spam, stomping out porn, stomping out the bots. And now enough people have bitched and complained and been bitter and reported her where she's restricted from posting in her own group. And it makes me mad. And I'm tired. I'm telling you, there are just some people, the way they've been, I mean, seriously, a condom would have prevented half their posts. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a little miffed about that. I've got issues there, but I'm not going to jump online. Cory and I don't spend a lot of time being negative on our podcast. And if we don't like something, it's like, I didn't care for it. I didn't like it. It's not, oh, it sucks. I swear, half the people on the Legion group.
And now here's 50 minutes of me telling you why it sucks.
Well, half of them don't even tell you that. Half of them are just, it sucks. Like they're the be all and end of all. Like, what you were talking, Cory, about? Like, everybody's like, oh, James Cameron Avatar 2 is going to suck, or Avatar 2, or whatever the hell it was.
It's going to be a huge bomb.
Yep. And now the latest news that came out is like, oh, they didn't make as much money as they think they were planning to do. So they made a hell of a lot of money, and it's not going away. I know I have zero interest in seeing it because I had zero interest in seeing Avatar, but I did see Avatar. Eventually, I'll go see it in the $5 movies. I will probably not drink or take what were those Avenger diapers they had for the Avengers? I'll strap on one of those, or I'll drink a big gulp, and I'll just have the big gulp ready and just kind of. Anyways,
we actually call those Amazon driver bottles.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Wait.
I have to the Avatar thing.
Yeah.
The first one, I will admit, was absolutely beautiful, but I really didn't need another Pocahontas movie.
Well, somebody did because it's made $500 million in 4 days.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what the plot for the second one is.
I know my cousin, he actually posted, oh, I can't believe the surprise ending on that. And I said, dude, it's history. The damn boat's going down. But either way. And if I may, since I'm coming out of this and I'm like a shotgun cannon here and I got one last grievance, other than people not putting on their headlights when it snows. I don't know if Cory covered it. We're on the edge of a major snowstorm. Not just major, dangerous. We're talking 50 below wind chill, which means your flesh freezes in about 30 seconds. And if you're dumb enough to be caught outdoors, I can't believe they're telling people this. If you're caught outdoors during this snowstorm, stay in your car. Gas up your car. Have toiletries with you. Have food, water, whatever, if you're traveling anywhere. I'm a little bummed because I got to work at the airport, which probably means flights will be delayed and I'll have mandatory overtime.
But you can use that to buy more omnibuses.
Well, and that leads to my last beef. And Cory knows how this, because seriously.
Joe has the best grievance of all this year.
Oh my God. This almost killed me collecting comics for good. So, and I get my comics through Discount Comic Book Service. I've had almost zero complaints with them. The one complaint I have is they like to use FedEx. So post office drops packages off. They shove it inside my door, ring the doorbell. UPS this morning, I was talking with my good buddy Turbo, Eric Jackman, who we've had on the show before, who, by the way, is moving back to the Twin Cities.
I heard that.
And he knows a lot about manga. So we may have a manga expert, an anime expert, joining us on the podcast from time to time. While I was talking with him, like I'm doing in the basement, I hear the doorbell ring. Who rang the doorbell? UPS. I went, I got FedEx. They just drop and run. I've met the FedEx guy at the door because I'm trying to be nice. The boxes I get from Discount Comic Book Service are like 80 pounds sometimes. They've lately been 30 pounds, but this one was like a 50 pounder because every late omnibus, I swear, they're just trying to empty their warehouse. So they filled as much shit in the box as possible. Not only did they drop the box and two of my daughter's boxes on top of it. So they dropped at 11:30. I got the notice like at about 1 o'clock, and I was thinking, God, I should go home and get that, because I saw what was in it, like 3 omnibuses, 2 more hardcovers, not to mention all the comic books. But I thought, I've never had any problems before. And I texted Chris and I said, hey, they dropped my box at 11:30. Could you maybe get it in? And she I left at noon and there was nothing on the door. Thank you for pausing that, Cory, stole my fucking box right off the doorstep, including Holly's. The perfect crime, because even if I had a doorbell cam, nobody would possibly see it. So many what ifs. What if I had just stayed home to get it? What if Chris had left just left 15 minutes earlier? What if the guy would do what I actually asked him to do? Could you go around and drop it off on the back doorstep? The guy who drops our boxes off, if it's the same guy, he's kind of brain dead. Because like I said before, I went out to meet him, to have him hand the box. He looked like he had never seen a human being in his life. Yeah, just hand me the box. It's okay. I came out of the house you're going to drop it at. I was so distraught because, first of all, it was about $500 my cost in money. We prepay when we go through Discount Comic Book Service. That means it was probably close to $1,200 if I had to go out and replace it. I don't have $1,200 to replace it. I was ready just to call my buddy Steve and say, hey, come just clean my fucking house out of every goddamn comic I own. I'm done. You cannot understand how upset, how distraught I was. I've been collecting comics since 1977. Been reading comics long before that. I was done. And then, like Cory said, well, see what happens. Well, okay, so I make a claim with FedEx, which itself is I don't know, what are those puzzles where they put dice on top of each other and you have to kind of whatever. Nothing's easy. Where did it come from? Where did it go? If I knew where it went, I wouldn't complain about it. It was easier to make a report with the police department, who actually sent me an email back saying, thank you for reporting this. Unfortunately, without anything else we can do, we just will keep this in the file. And I'm like, well, that's, I know there's nothing you can do. Just that there's somebody operating in the area. They've caught a few of the rings in town because the guy did something stupid. I.e. not having a license plate on his car. They stop him. Here's a bunch of stolen boxes. Boom, they cracked a ring. The other thing is, too, you know the guy who found my boxes? Oh, we can't sell this shit. Probably just threw them out. I doubt they went to half-price books. Maybe they went to a comic store. I mean, there's enough shady characters in town that would, hey, I'll give you $10 for that. Yeah, whatever.
Comic shops are filled with the weasels. We know that from the 80s.
We used to be one of them. Anyway.
Yeah, I was going to say, hey, wait a minute.
We were all weasels at some point.
You could always tell the guys who used to come into my shop that were trying to pull shit because, first of all, they wouldn't take a check. And I said, well, I got to do a check because I got to have a record of it. Second of all, I always told them I need your driver's license because I file down if somebody comes into my store and goes, hey, somebody stole that from my house. I say, well, no, I bought it from this guy. It's his. And I never had that happen. But that was always a CYA thing for myself. And I knew that from talking to friends. You know, you would think they could do that with guys who show up in the junkyards with like 25 catalytic converters. No. Yeah, I just happen to have these lying around the house. Thought I'd cash them in right now. Or, hey, I got 25 miles of copper wiring I just happen to have sitting in my house, you know. Yeah, whatever, dudes. Hard. So I got that all taken care of. I emailed Discount Comic Service, said, hey, I need your invoice because I need the invoice of how much I got. You send me an invoice of what I'm missing, but I need the invoice of like how much it is because then when I file the claim, they want to make sure that Discount Comic Service ain't going to file a claim back and they have to pay out twice. Mm-hmm. I was actually expecting, you know, I'm sorry, we can't do anything. We took a picture of your boxes sitting on the doorstep. They put everything there except the sign that says, hey, free boxes, come and take. By Monday, though, I got an email from Discount Comic Book Service that says, we will file a claim. We will try to fill everything that you're missing. And believe me, that took me off the edge. Because you're going to almost say, oh, Ryder's on the edge. He's ready to jump. No.
He's going Kray.
That was the problem. There was no one to Kray. I mean, usually there's somebody to Kray at. Who would I Kray at? Well, the guy who stole the shit, who I don't know who it is. Police department, they can't do anything. You know, my wife, no, she had to go to work. The FedEx guy who just drops, takes a picture and run, can't even ring the fucking doorbell? Nope. Anyways.
What really sucks is that he was on the edge and I tried to push him off it.
Oh, is that what that was? I thought it was
yeah.
I felt that fuzz on my butt. Thank you.
Yeah. The problem is I slipped through your legs and fell myself.
Anyways, all but 4 things were replaced. And
nice.
I can live with that. Thank you, Discount Comic Book Service. I got to send you guys a great note. So I much appreciated. I'm feeling much better now.
Shall I piss Joe off?
Sure.
Hey, Joe, guess what you have to order next month?
Oh, another previews?
No! The Phantom Stranger Omnibus is being resolicited again.
I'm out of here. Turn that goddamn computer on. Oh. How many times was that? 4?
5. This is the 5th time.
Geez.
This is the 5th time. I have another grievance that I will add.
I actually have 2.
Ooh. Well, then I'll let you go.
Okay. Well, the first one is, why am I not on anymore?
Mostly because we our schedule is all weird, and we basically, hey, are you free? Yeah, I'm free for the next hour. Good, let's go. We will be moving to Mondays for our recording.
Okay.
It's also why the podcast has been put up sometimes on Wednesday, sometimes on Thursday, sometimes on Friday, because Joe and I's schedule just got messed up. But we're going to be recording on Mondays.
Yeah, I lost my days off, seniority. I'm with 5 people. They mix us up. Mm-hmm. And so instead of getting that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I ended up like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I still got the 10-hour, 4-hour, 3 days off. But Cory's works Monday, Tuesday. does AEW on Wednesday, and then I'm back to work, and it's just, I tell you, and the world does not respect us. We are a national treasure without a Wikipedia page.
And an institution at this point.
Yes. But
Ooh.
people don't respect us.
We're about to start our 14th year. In February is our 13th anniversary.
Ooh.
We have been around forever. In the world of podcasting, we're ancient.
Well, that and physically.
Respect, you know what I'm saying? No respect at all.
And I think it's in 3 years we will surpass The Simpsons for the number of episodes we have.
Ooh.
We're actually very, very close if you count the solo podcasts, which I don't. But I have not looked in a long, long time. So why don't you give your next grievance and I will look up where we are on the list.
Sure. So my last major grievance actually I just found out about less than a week ago. I turned 46 in October, and apparently my body has just gone, nope. I have now been diagnosed with a hernia it's the type of hernia where your insides are trying to burst through your muscles.
Tidal hernia.
Huh! No, it's
rectal hernia.
Umbral or something like that.
Oh, umbral.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You're right. Living with a hernia. So we both like Transformers, and we both have hernias.
Yeah. Guess when I have to see the surgeon for my consult?
What is that?
Thursday.
Oh.
So I do like the way that Jules puts it, is that, of course, I'm the only one that she knows that my insides would be trying to burst through my chest, and I barely noticed. So I've got that, and then when they were doing my blood work, find out that I've got diabetes.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
Give me a call sometime, brother. I've had it since, when did I get it, Cory? 1996, 97?
Yeah.
And I can help you deal with it.
Cool. Well, I've seen you deal with other things. I'm not sure.
Well, let's put it this way, and Cory can attest. I was probably 230 pounds when I found out I had diabetes.
Okay.
My life was basically sitting at a comic shop, having $100,000 bar eating contests with my employees, drinking as much as I can, wondering why I'm so goddamn tired and the caffeine isn't kicking in. My eyes were fuzzy. I just was lethargic as hell. But once I found out I was diabetic, other than spending 6 months in dreaded terror, like every fucking thing I eat is trying to kill me, I was able, the big number one thing, and this sucks beyond compare, but you got to start exercising. I don't care what you do, if you stop eating, your body will go nuts and think, oh, I'm starving, I better save and make everything I have get converted into, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
For me, what did it is I'm right next to Lake Phelan. I walked every day. It was a 3-mile walk every day, even during 50 below zero snowstorms. And I lost a lot of weight, and that actually helped me out for a while. It helped my partner, Pat, because as Cory will attest, he used to be classic Pat, big 300-pounder. Yeah, big beard. He looked like some type of necrophiliac. And he ended up losing weight for a while. He gained some of it back, but that's kind of what saved him from getting full-blown diabetes while he was 300 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Since got it, but that's the number one thing you can do.
Yeah.
And if you drink soda pop, stop.
Yeah, I'm already.
Yeah. I mean, it took a long time. Again, I don't want to make this all about diabetes. We should make our own podcast about it sometime.
There you go. Diabetes and Transformers.
Let me tell you.
Transformers and diabetes. Shouldn't that be Transformers and diodes? Nope. Even
Optimus Prime died from prostate cancer.
That's true.
Yep. He got better.
Because
That's
no one
true,
ever
but-
really dies.
No.
And Cory, what is your final?
The other thing too.
Oh, well, yeah.
Tell Julia, lots of sex. Anything to burn off carbs.
Yeah, I can't do that at the moment.
Oh yeah, I suppose that's the other problem.
Yeah.
Come on, wake up, damn you! I'm slapping you around all day, and you just won't wake up.
Well, that and the hernia.
Man, forget it. Give the man a cyanide pill. I saw this on MASH. Give him the black pill. The black cap. Black capsule.
Oh,
Yep.
the movie. That capsule.
My final grievance,
Yeah.
Oh, there's more.
just one,
Okay.
blood in wrestling. Now, I understand that sometimes, you get thrown into the ring post and you don't get your hand up in time, and there's a mistake, or you're thrown into something and it scrapes your skin. But most blood in wrestling is not an accident. If you don't know,
What?
I am about to kayfabe. I am about to shoot on everybody.
Wait, what? You
The
told me
way-
never to do that.
The way people bleed in wrestling is they have a razor blade somewhere on their person,
No.
and they
I thought it
cut
was blood
themselves,
pellets on the head.
and they cut themselves in the forehead.
Oh, I knew that.
Wow. Now that's dedication.
If you want proof, take a look at when you see a picture of Ric Flair. Look at his forehead. Take a look at an old picture of Dusty Rhodes or any of the older wrestlers. You'll see their forehead is just nothing but scar tissue. WWE has a rule: no blood, because they're PG. AEW, the one I cover, does not have this rule. And there are certain wrestlers who feel that this means that every time they're in the ring, they need to bleed. I swear to God, Jon Moxley has the thinnest skin of any human being on the planet, because every match he's in, somehow he bleeds. Now, first off, it's gross, it's not needed, and it's barbaric. If you were to tell the network, hey, by the way, that show you ran last week, those aren't special effects. The guy just took an old razor blade and cut his forehead open. He's slicing himself open for our entertainment. But then there are some wrestlers, Sammy Guevara, who take it a step further. When he's in a match where somebody has blood, what does he do? He will take the blood and he'll smear it on himself. He'll have the blood on his hands. He'll start licking it. Last week, he and his girlfriend both had Jon Moxley's blood on them, smeared it on their lips, and kissed each other.
Don't they know that COVID is a thing?
Don't they know that that's just gross? We don't need the blood. We don't need the blood. There's been one match all year where the blood enhanced the match. It was on pay-per-view.
Was it Dracula versus somebody?
No.
Oh.
The Briscoes, who are well known as the most violent people in mainstream wrestling. I don't even want to talk about death matches because those motherfuckers are insane. Death matches where, okay, what do we do in the match? Well, first I'm going to take these fluorescent light bulbs. I'm going to smash them over your head. Then I'm going to take the wooden skewers at the Japanese restaurant. I'm going to drive them into your head so they're sticking out of your head. Then I'm going to put a cement block in front of your crotch and take a sledgehammer and bash it so that it breaks. Then the match starts. But they had a double dog collar match where everybody had a dog collar and a chain, and they bled all over the place. And it was, okay, it's on pay-per-view. So, and when it's a double dog collar match with the Briscoes, you expect blood. You don't expect to tune in to AEW Rampage at 4:00 in the afternoon on TNT and see a guy bleeding and another guy licking it up.
Well, like you said earlier, you don't have to worry that much if it's on TNT.
Well, true, because only 500,000 people are watching it. But I think without the blood, there would be more people. And we don't need the blood. It's not 1960 anymore. Back ages ago, Mark Maron interviewed pro wrestler and podcaster Colt Cabana. And he talked about when he was a kid, wrestling scared him because he would see the magazines on the newsstand, and all the magazines had people with blood all over their face. You know, oh, I don't want to watch that.
It was black and white too, but still.
Yeah. We don't need it. It's not needed. Stop. Just stop.
And actually, we're getting close to 2060. Does that count?
I know 2099 is when Marvel 2099 starts.
Well, yeah, but you said that it's not 1960 anymore.
True.
We're actually closer to 2060 now. So is that when it's going to come back? Sorry.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. I'm the one who freaks people out by saying, yeah, you remember, Dan, you remember Infinity Gauntlet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kids now will look at Infinity Gauntlet the same way that when you started watching wrestling, you looked at comics from the 50s. And went, oh, that's so old.
Well, that's okay. I found it funny that Joe said that he started collecting comics in 1977. Yep. So, I wasn't even a year old yet.
Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars.
I always like when I find a box of comics and I go, oh, wow, I haven't seen these in ages. Here's a box of new comics. And I look and it's, oh, look, they're from 1994. I've become that old guy. These new comic creators like Rob Liefeld. I don't know if they're going to catch on.
Yeah, probably not.
Lines.
Then again, when I first got online, I remember people who, I'd be in these comic forums with people. They go, comics haven't been any good since it went to 20 cents. Oh, are you reading the new Justice League? J.M. DeMatteis and Keith Giffen are putting out a really good... Justice League hasn't been any good since Mike Sikowski quit drawing it. Ever since they fired Mort Weisinger, comics aren't any good.
Ever since Julia Schwartz... No.
When Julie Schwartz took over Superman, it all turned to shit.
Comics haven't been any good since they added color.
And if I have to put up with one more idiot about Stan Lee,
I'll leave.
There are people online, I think, who, when Stan Lee is mentioned, radar goes up. And they come over and go, Stan Lee was a thief and a scumbag and a weasel. And I will point out that as a writer, maybe he wasn't the greatest. As an executive, he did what he was told to by his boss. But as an editor, no one got better work out of any of the people who worked for him. Nobody. And that doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter.
So
you're basically saying I'm right and you got nothing else to respond to.
Right.
Yeah.
By the way, the Stan Lee 100th anniversary omnibus showed up this week. Oh, am I going to be talking about that when we do a geeking? But we don't do that on the Festivus episode. No. Festivus is all about grievances.
All about it.
It's
like, why don't, a lot of people always talk about Die Hard being a Christmas movie, but First Blood was the first 80s Christmas action movie. You want proof? There's Christmas decorations over the entire thing.
Trading Places was a Christmas movie.
Exactly.
Dan Aykroyd was a drunken Santa Claus. All 5 Silent Night, Deadly Nights were Christmas movies. But nobody ever mentions my favorite 80s Christmas movie.
Jesus Christ, Vampire Slayer?
No, that was in the 2000s. No,
Oh.
my favorite 80s Christmas movie, Gremlins,
Okay.
which actively went out of its way to be a Christmas movie.
Yeah. Okay. Die Hard is a Christmas movie or not? I don't fucking care. If you want to watch it at Christmas, watch it at Christmas. If you don't want to watch it at Christmas, don't watch it at Christmas. Shut the fuck up.
Well,
Sorry.
Wolfie, would you muzzle your owner there?
I'm not going near that.
Yeah, he's well, bah humbug on you.
Well, believe it or not, kids,
Yeah.
we've been talking about our grievances for an hour and a half.
I haven't.
Well, that's because you decided to spend time with your daughter instead of your friend who you've known longer than your daughter's been alive.
And your daughter could have been part of this.
Actually, years ago she was, because she chewed Cory out for, hey, this was my comic shop, not yours.
Well, see, we could have had a retro
By the
retro
way,
grievance.
I got him sitting behind me. If I've ever promised you a Joe Prize, let me know and I'll get it sent to you. If you want it autographed, it'll take a little longer because I have no idea how I'm going to get strode out of the compound. Last time I tried to get him out, I knocked on the door and all I heard was some swear words I'm pretty sure aren't ever been spoken before. And the second time I tried, I put a piece of pie in the door and a hand came out, grabbed the pie, disappeared. That's all I saw. So I'll try to get them autographed, I promise. But other than that, they're ready. So the point being is, if anybody can remember which episode Dana chewed Cory out, you get a Joe Prize. 2023, the year of the Joe Prize.
Dan, anything to say to our listeners as we go into the holiday season?
Oh, I'm sorry, Dan. What was that? Till all are one.
So we're into the what day does this drop?
On Festivus, the 23rd.
The 23rd. Good luck.
Joe?
Oh, I'm not around next week. I'm going on vacation up north with my family.
Fine.
On the plus side, I'm hoping to visit the new Collector Connection over in Superior.
Ooh.
When we come back, going up, they're always closed, usually Saturday, Sunday, because I don't know if it's a Duluth thing or they just like the football. But on the way back, even Chris didn't complain when I said, hey, we can stop at a comic store.
Ooh. And Globe News is being, the owner of Globe News is retiring.
Ooh, I wonder if they're closing it or selling it.
No, they will continue, but he is retiring.
Oh, good.
Thank you to Travis for letting us know that.
Yes. Oh, by the way, I did meet Travis at one of the at the Valley Creek Mall, the Minnesota Comic Exchange. He actually recognized me, and it was great. And of course, I didn't get to be timely. I said hi to him and we talked a little bit, but I didn't get to give a shout out on the podcast because we haven't been getting together to do it. So,
but we will in the new year.
Yes.
And as we say every week, the comic we like the least, we still like better than the comic that you like the most. Wolfie?
Hit my music. We done, bitches.